And good evening and welcome to Vision Talk, our monthly program from Vision Bermuda. Theresa McMordie, the rehab specialist, joining me in studio as she always does for our monthly chat. We had to skip last month. We apologize to our listeners for that, but we're going to catch right up again this month with our topic today with a whole sorts of exciting things happening. Theresa, we're talking about volunteers.
Hi, thank you. It's good to be back. Nice to see you.
Good to have you here, love. Good to have you here.
Well, we're in a very exciting phase.
We're really
Vision Bermuda.
She's going to tell you why.
Oh my goodness, we are moving in as we speak. Finally moving into the home of Vision Bermuda, Beacon House.
Awesome.
And how exciting is that?
It's been a long time coming, and
yes,
it goes without saying that any building project has its challenges.
An
older building like Beacon House kept throwing up these issues, but they have overcome them.
We have, and a big thank you to all those involved in helping us overcome these issues.
Sure.
Big thank you. Mm-hmm. So we're finally moving in. Furniture is going in now. We've got some beautiful items. And while on the outside, actually,
I saw the painters.
To be so excited about the outside. That's my dream, actually, and huge thank you for that as well. Because at one point I wasn't sure we were going to get the outside painted yet. So
gotcha.
Very, very excited about that. It looks so much nicer. Doesn't
it's lovely. It's lovely.
Gorgeous.
And once the whole landscaping and the aesthetic is all taken care of, it's going to be just a wonderful place for Vision Bermuda to operate from. And to help all of those dealing with vision issues here on the island. And so the official day is coming up when?
Yes, the 6th of April. We have our opening day, Saturday the 6th of April, which is not very long away now, only a few weeks away.
Sure.
And it's just... so excited that I don't really quite have the
words
forming right now, because
only because the pushbacks have been just so disheartening at times when the challenges had come up, as they always do, and so it's been really tough that a project that was thought to only take a certain amount of time has ended up taking almost twice as much time to come to fruition.
Yes.
But it will do, and anyone who's watched any sort of home improvement show knows what we're talking about.
Because I've learned lots. Learned lots too.
She's learned lots from being involved in this, and has managed to operate, some of the programs, remotely and from other spaces that have been loaned to you guys. So thanks to
yes, we have, and that's the point. Actually, a client of mine said to me only this week that she doesn't know what Vision Bermuda's been doing since we haven't had a building, and I was a bit disheartened because I've been going to people's homes and doing individual customized programs with everybody.
Sure.
And everybody I've worked with has benefited from learning some new skill.
Absolutely.
So that was a bit disheartening. So just because we haven't had a building doesn't mean that things haven't been going on. Phyllis has been doing her IT classes.
Sure.
We've been having social groups every fortnight. Digicel have been amazing with that.
Yep, loaning you the space.
Giving us the space. And actually the Adult Education Centre, I must say to them as well,
sure.
Thank you for giving us the space for Phyllis to be able to hold
teaching
her
skills.
IT classes.
Yes.
Yeah, so things have still been going on, and I also set up a working age group, and we've been meeting once a month, and so there's all sorts of things, like I say, have been going on behind the scenes, and training of care homes and things like that. But yes, we haven't been visual, I guess, in a centre. So exciting times ahead.
For sure. And with the opening of Beacon House finally coming up, you'll be able to really hit the ground running with establishing programs that take place regularly right there in the building.
Yes. However, that's where volunteers
we
come in.
Really need to talk to you guys today about this.
Yes, we have lots of ideas for programs, and of course what's more important is I might have lots of ideas, but I want my clients to come up with ideas too, because I want it to be things that they want to be doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we desperately need some volunteers now to help us run these, and that can be from just a friendly face at the building when somebody comes in, and you can, I don't take their coat, make them a drink.
Be the host almost.
Yes, thank
Be the
you.
host,
And make sure that the class is running okay, that everybody's got everything they need from the class. So, for example, if we do a Keep Fit class, which we really want to bring back.
Sure.
Because everybody seemed to love that when we used to run it before. So making sure that the instructor has what he needs and the chairs are out or whatever.
Sure.
So somebody in-house, and also then to help everybody as they leave too.
Sure.
Would be fantastic.
So when that comes about, we're looking for that on a daily basis. If someone can donate a day or a half day.
Yes, if anybody could donate a half day a week, and that a regular. Of course, people have holidays, and of course, people are sick. But on the whole, if we had a half day to a day a week, that would be amazing. We would really, really support us big time.
We're looking for folks who perhaps don't work full time or are retired. Yes. Or just feel the need to want to give back for a half a day. And we need people will have there'll be an interview, a brief sort of vetting of people who want to come and do this. But that's just one of the duties will be to be the sort of daily host at Beacon House to keep the front door welcoming and make sure the needs are met by the people who are doing the work in there. So that's one position that's
and of course,
necessary.
Training will be provided.
Of course.
I would provide guiding skills and awareness training and everything.
Sure, because some people might feel like, I wouldn't know what to do to help someone, but it's really quite straightforward and common sense. A lot of the guidance that Theresa will give you on how to help someone with visual impairment. And of course, the accessibility of the building and how it's been revamped now has made a lot of that easy. There are no trip hazards and so on.
Yes.
So it's much easily. And there are those with vision issues who also have mobility issues. So the access for folks who might be in chairs or with walkers or whatever else is also going to be fine there. But having someone, volunteer in the host position is going to be necessary on a daily basis. So here we are hoping that there'll be folks to sign up for that. And of course, volunteer at visionbermuda.bm, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Or rehab. You can also email me on rehab@visionbermuda.bm.
Got you. All right. That'll come directly to you then, which is great. So that's just one thing. And so we thought we'd talk about the sort of the most pleasant and least taxing one of stuff. But there are other things that are necessary, not the least of which you and every other sort of medical and help charity on the island is looking for transportation volunteers.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
And that's been a problem I've found ever since I've been here is transportation, particularly on the island.
Sure.
Yeah, there's been lots of difficulties with that when I've wanted to, or I've held, for example, a bowling group.
Sure.
A social, day out doing bowling, and then it's been really difficult to then find people to take
the clients to and from.
From bowling.
Uh-huh.
So yes, volunteers, just even running our clients to Beacon House for a session or whatever
to
it is
spend
they're
the day
doing
or
there,
whatever they're doing.
Yes. And then collecting them to take them home again. Of course, very, very welcome to stay as well. But volunteer drivers, oh my goodness, again, would be angels.
Sure.
As far as I'm concerned. I have a lot of people that can't take the bus because if you think, the bus is only down the road. Well, why can't they get the bus into town? But somebody with vision loss, low vision, and of course blind, that's a whole new difficult challenges to overcome. You've got to locate the bus. You can't see the bus number when it's coming or where it's going
right one.
to.
Yeah.
Yes, and getting on the bus, and sometimes the bus driver isn't always aware that somebody's got sight loss and may move off forward before,
Yes.
there's all sorts of complications around it.
It can be done for anyone with vision impairment that wants to catch the bus, and there are many that have.
That's training I provide.
But there are, with the training that they can get, and I know that the DPT, if they're aware of someone on a route,
they have been brilliant,
they can, but this is all about the communication then for someone who wishes to do it. It can be arranged, but there are those, like we said, with mobility issues too, so that makes catching the bus difficult. And these people we need volunteer drivers basically, just as a whole.
I just want to say about bus drivers, when I've done any training and they've been aware that somebody has sight loss, they have been fantastic.
They usually are, because they're ambassadors anyway. They're sitting in that chair wanting to greet people, and both locals and visitors alike, and that's a whole other kettle of fish if we have folks visiting the island that have vision impairment. So we're looking forward to Beaking House being able to be a liaison, perhaps for folks like that. And there are people here who don't have a lot of familial support around for whatever reason. You might not have offspring. You might not have, extended family around you. Those who are up in age might have lost their older siblings and so on and so forth that could have been of help. So it's really, really important. We know that, like we say, there are several caring charities on the island that involve driving. So we do know that, it has its expense. If you can, a couple gallons of gas is what you're donating, and your time, of course, to take someone to or from an activity or a session of sorts will just be just the major cherry on the Sunday for sure. If folks can do that, and again, info or volunteer at visionbermuda.bm or rehab at visionbermuda.bm. Should you be one of those people listening to us right now that says that one's for me, please do. You can email right now, and Theresa will get it when she goes back to work.
yes, please do. That would be fantastic.
So we've covered hosts, and we've covered drivers. What else are we looking for volunteer wise, Theresa?
I'm also looking for this, and this is a big one. I've mentioned it before. I'm looking for somebody who can give me a half a day. A day would be perfect. A week,
sure,
with assistive technology, mainly with the iPhone and the iPad.
Sure,
teaching voiceover and Siri commands to clients with vision loss. This is a big part of my role, and it can really promote independence with people being able to use this facility.
A smartphone is amazing.
Oh yes, being able to sorry, my words can't come out now because I've got so much I want to say about it. But my email, being able to send and receive emails, being able to just say, hey Siri, make sure that my phone is definitely on silent. So those who can't be mentioned, to call Theresa, Vision Bermuda, that type of thing, and all the voice activation things on WhatsApp, and being able to use even Facebook. It's fantastic the way
it opens up people's lives. Really Who was the gentleman that we talked to month before last? Mark was just amazing when he talked about joining the social groups with his iPad. The difference in his life. He literally said, how he struggled with his vision loss. And I don't know how long that was.
Yeah, he felt isolated.
And felt so isolated for years. Yeah. And here he was, this, sort of amazing sportsman and everything that he was. And now he was separated from all those friends, but now he can communicate with all of them again. Yes. His overseas friends and everything too. It made all the difference to him. And I think that's just so... that's so awesome. How good does it feel to know that you helped him do that, Theresa, and you can really feel the joy sort of coming out of him. Yeah.
Because it's a part of my role that I can teach somebody else and support them to teach my clients.
Sure.
But you don't have to have the rehab qualification to do it.
Sure. Yeah, it's a software application you're learning.
Yes.
Basically.
But the beauty of it is then it frees me up to do things with clients that you do have to be qualified to
more specific
support. So that would just be amazing, because of course for Mark to be in that position, it wasn't just one session.
No,
you know, we did regular sessions, and if you think that you know, for me anyway, the way I learn is I like to see somebody doing it, and then I like to read it as well.
Sure.
Whereas if you've got no sight, you're taking it all by instruction.
Audio,
so each instruction has to be repeated and repeated and repeated.
Sure.
To
commit to memory.
Yes. So and it's just I've learned a huge amount. I thought I was pretty good on the iPhone when I first arrived, but
you've learned so much since.
I've learned a lot too, and that's fascinating for me. You know, I've been building the skills for me, and that's what I feel a volunteer could do. You know, with building those skills for them too, so they would get something out of it as well.
Now you mentioned iPhone and iPad and Siri. Sort of what are the particular things that Siri can do? Like, what's it called when it's this sort of vision impaired adaptation? Well,
so there's two. There's Siri and there's VoiceOver.
Okay.
So most people will be, who have an iPhone, will understand or be used to Siri, because they might say, you know, set timer. They might be putting a boiled egg on, for example, or set timer for 3 minutes, or play a radio station, yes, or you know, play something from my playlist and all that sort of thing. Siri is just amazing on the day-to-day, but then VoiceOver is a completely different. And
is that specifically for vision impaired folk?
It is.
Okay.
Yes, and what happens when you turn that on? Your iPhone becomes more of a tap-based type thing.
Got you.
And so you run your finger and it will tell you what your apps are, for example, on the front of the screen. So you might say, it might have settings, Facebook, WhatsApp, email.
And as your finger touches it, it tells you.
It tells you what it is. Okay. And then to activate that, you would double tap. And then you do swiping actions to go all the way through, and you can ask it to record. Well, you can ask it to record, but what I was wanting to say is you can voice activate it. So you're sending an email to Shelley, and it'll ask you what do you want to say. It might check the email address if I've got 2 email addresses.
Sure.
And then you
speak what you want
it to say, and then it will ask you, is this what you want to send? Do you want to change it or not?
So there's editing options. There's
all sorts. Yes,
wow.
It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. But that all takes time, because particularly with the different swiping actions and to go forward, you know, you swipe one way, to go backwards, you swipe another. And each time you're swiping, it's telling you what you're swiping, you know.
Sure, yeah. So you don't get lost because it tells you where you are.
Yes, and it's not being frightened of it as well, because you can always go back. You're not, you know, and I think when people are first using it with VoiceOver on and they can't see the screen, then it can be, well, I don't want to do something
say
I
the wrong
be doing,
thing or send the wrong thing to somebody.
Yes,
you know, everybody you can see is afraid of that when they're doing stuff on the screen.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I can imagine being vision impaired, how that could be twice as stressful, for sure. So it's amazing that how adaptive it is. Then was VoiceOver. Has it been around for a while? Have there been many iterations of it? Or?
Yes, it's been around for quite a few years. In fact, longer than I thought it had. Because I had a client that has an iPod, should I say, an iPod
with VoiceOver.
Yes, and he asked me, could I put VoiceOver on? And I thought, what? On this iPod?
On an iPod.
You'll be lucky. Anyway, I went into settings and into accessibility, and there was VoiceOver.
Wow.
I mean, so it's been around a long time. It's getting better and better.
Sure.
Now, sometimes Apple do an update that isn't as good, but then they do tend to sort it out and put it back again. So, it's really great. I mean, we must mention, of course, Android.
Sure, there are people who have Android.
Yes, there are people that have Android. And that, again, that is something else that we teach. I'm not as good on it because I don't.
You don't use it all the time.
I don't use it that much, but I'm happy to learn. So,
Sure.
we'll do it together if I have a client that's got Android, because some of the Android phones are different as well in where they keep things and
Sure.
everything, whereas iPhone... you love to hate Apple, really, don't you? Because they've all got it all locked down. But
Sure.
you can have an iPhone and an iPad and a Mac, and they will all talk to one another.
For sure. So that helps to ease the facilitation between someone who might be sitting in front of their laptop and not on the phone, doing voiceover as well.
Yes.
Correct. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Do it all. It's an amazing system.
Yeah. And does Phyllis work with that in her IT stuff?
Yes.
Okay. So there you go.
In her IT, she's
gravity.
teaching. Yes, she's teaching typing skills in her IT classes. Yeah.
Yeah. So memorizing the keyboard skills and stuff like that. As far as using a computer that way.
Yeah.
And she's amazing to watch too.
Oh,
Anyone who
she's
thinks,
incredible.
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But if you haven't met Phyllis Harshaw yet, and she does it with one hand, which makes it even more amazing.
I'm just in awe of her every time I see her. She's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do want people to understand that when we speak about this every month with Vision Talk, that all of these opportunities to make your life as fulfilling as possible, even with vision loss and vision impairment, are available right here on the island, and we just want people to know about them and to partake of them, to have better quality of life, because that's what you're giving these folks,
absolutely.
So as far as the learning the voiceover and stuff like that, is there anything else on the volunteer page? I know just maybe even companionship at times, or I was going to say storytelling, maybe I think would be a good one, maybe for younger folks, even if it was just reading as storytelling, or the newspaper or things like that.
Absolutely. I was just going to touch on that now.
Sure.
Even if coming into Beacon House or doing IT skills, but you have a couple of hours a week where you could support somebody, even be a befriender,
sure,
or do somebody shopping for them or with them, take them shopping with you, anything. I've got so many ideas and ways that you can support people, and we're now thankfully in the position where we can start receiving volunteers. I've had a couple of people over the few years that I've been here ring in and ask to volunteer, and sadly we just haven't been ready.
Sure.
And I'm thinking, no, yes, I would love you to volunteer.
Yes.
Particularly I had one gentleman who wanted to volunteer to be a driver, but he could only do after work. I've still got his details.
Sure.
So I will
sort
be
of
in
after
touch
5,
shortly.
you mean?
So it's after 5, yes.
Okay.
And he worked during the week, but he wanted me to know that he would be happy to volunteer weekends.
Gotcha.
As a driver volunteer.
Or evenings,
Yeah. So that would be, even if somebody can give time like that. If working with people with sight loss sort of gives somebody a buzz on a volunteer way, then please just ring and get in touch with me or email me, like I say, on rehab@visionbermuda.bm, and we can discuss ways in which you can support. And of course, by volunteering and building up a volunteering group of people, you also then meet like-minded people.
Sure, yeah, you're creating community.
Create more friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it might be just the thing for someone who perhaps is retired and maybe, again, doesn't have a lot of familial support around them.
Yeah.
To create your new tribe, so to speak, with the folks at Beacon House, right? Like, why not? That would be a great one. And I don't know. I think reading out loud is something that our young people need to get better at, because everybody's been in a little 2-inch screen for decades now about reading things in shorthand and things like that. Reading out loud has gone the way of sort of cursive writing, but all of these things are great skills to still have and still learn and still share. So I'm all about the, get a good book club going where, you can get together, and there's some who will be able to follow along, get Braille versions of books or something like that. I can see that being a great social or audio books, but just I would read out loud,
I've just got to say why
Sure.
I didn't think of this before, but I've even knit and natter.
Okay.
So I've got 3 lovely ladies of retirement age now that I've got together that are knitting.
Okay.
If there's somebody out there, and they are blind, but
Sure.
they can do it.
They can knit?
They have muscle memory, as
Sure.
in mind memory.
Sure.
And then one of my clients, she made scarves for Christmas presents, and it's so lovely because she was so excited that she was knitting again.
Sure.
If there's a volunteer out there that's very crafty, knitting, crocheting,
Sure.
oh, please get in touch, because I have started to learn to knit, but I'm not
Because
very
of these
good
ladies,
because
right?
of
Yeah.
the ladies.
Yeah.
But I'm not very good at putting things right
Sure.
yet.
Gotcha.
It's hard enough putting my own knitting. So yes, please. I would. Oh, that would be amazing if there was somebody, you know, that could come to Beacon House and
Sure.
enjoy a social group, doing some knitting, having a coffee or tea or
Sure.
soft drink, you know.
Yeah.
And
think that would be
supporting
great.
these lovely ladies.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Knit and
please.
natter. I love it.
Yes.
Have a knit and a natter. Why
Knit and a
not?
natter.
Why not?
Yeah.
So, we're talking to Theresa McMordie, the rehab specialist for Vision Bermuda. We've exciting news with the opening of Beacon House finally coming up in June. Did you say?
No, 6th of April.
6th of April, sorry, April.
Yeah,
I was
come
thinking
on,
the sixth
June.
the 6th month was stuck in my head there. 6th of April, so just about a
Yeah.
month away now, folks. A little under a month away. So volunteers are needed in several fields to make the mission of Beacon House come true, and that would include hosting duties at Beacon House, and as Theresa mentioned, guidance and training in all of this will be available.
Yes,
We do
definitely.
need transportation volunteers for many things, but of course, to and from Beacon House generally will be the regular
Yes.
type of volunteer driver that's necessary, and also for the technology, the assistive technology, both voiceover and how to use Siri on the iPhone. It will be huge, and we know there are young people and older people and everything that have a knack for this stuff, and
Yes.
those are the ones we want to come on board, especially with the technology. So just give them all the info again about where you are, what you're doing, the phone number and the emails and everything for us, Theresa, one more time.
Okay, yes. Well, please email me at rehab at visionbermuda.bm. You can also use the info at visionbermuda.bm.
Got you.
It will come straight to me if it's a rehab one.
Got you. And the phone number
The
is
phone-
292-3231 if you just want to pick up that phone and find out, what's going on. And we will be having a repeat of this program tomorrow evening at 5:30 on Power 95. So if there are folks you think need to listen and find out the information on this, it's always an opportunity, as we do repeat this talk again tomorrow on Power 95. Vision Talk is our monthly chat with the folks at Vision Bermuda right here on Ocean 89 at 5:30 the first Monday of the month, and like I said, repeated tomorrow night as well, the first Tuesday of the month, second Tuesday of the month, after we have the initial program. It's repeated on Power 95. Theresa, you're doing a great job. I know how hard you work, because I see you regular, and we know it's been hugely challenging getting Beacon House up and running, but the fact that you have been able to keep so many programs going, even without a building for the last couple of years, has been great. They would love if you would find them on Facebook and like their page. Write a review should you choose to on Vision Talk, and they would love to hear from anyone who thinks they might have something to contribute as far as
Yes,
helping
please.
those that are vision impaired here on the
Yes.
island.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if anybody is listening that has a family member or is listening who has sight loss, please do get in touch.
Yeah, it's that simple, folks, and you don't have to feel isolated.
No.
You don't have to feel overwhelmed. And here's hoping that The opening next week is going to be a huge affair. You will be hearing about it, of course. There'll be a press release and all of that going on, and we'd love for folks to maybe come on out and enjoy the ceremony when it happens. Shout out to the Lions Clubs of Bermuda for their amazing contributions.
Thank you.
And there have been several major donors as far as making the vision of Vision Bermuda come to life with Beacon House, and they are
so
much appreciated as well. And any little bit that goes on with Vision Talk being a nonprofit would be hugely helpful. Any fundraising ideas and so on and so forth. Theresa would love to hear from you. And here's hoping that there's going to be great events and things going on down there for the folks real soon.
Yeah, it's an exciting time.
At Beacon House there on Cedar Avenue. Yeah. So, Theresa, we've got to wrap it up. Once again, folks, you're listening to Vision Talk. Please email info@visionbermuda.bm or rehab@visionbermuda.bm or call 292-3231. If you want to know anything about dealing with sight loss here on the island, Vision Bermuda is the place to reach out to. Thanks so much for joining us again,
and thank you for listening.
And come next month, we'll have lots to talk about after the official opening.
Yes, because I've got some exciting things happening that I'm bringing forward as part of my roles. Now I've got Beacon House, so yes. Stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for the next one, which will be on April the 8th. Okay, it'll be 2 days after the official opening. Lots of exciting stuff to talk about. So thanks again for coming, Theresa. We do appreciate you. Thanks, folks, for listening to Vision Talk. You're tuned to Ocean 89.